Lesson 3. The Jataka Stories. During the previous life of the Buddha was called a Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva is a person who makes a vow to become a Buddha in the future. The Jataka stories are tales of the Buddha's previous birth life. According to the Buddhist scripture, before attaining enlightenment, the Buddha was born 547 times as a Bodhisattva. Some lives were as human beings, some were as animals, some as kings, some as poor people. A study of the Jataka stories not only gives instruction but also enjoyment. Two stories of the Jataka are: the first, the Ambajataka story. The Buddha was dwelling at Jetavana temple in Savatthi city. At that time, bhikkhus talked in the assembly hall. This story is about the Venerable Tevatatta's conduct. Venerable Tevatatta declared that he wanted to be the administrator of the Sangha. Although the Sangha warned him against it, he divided the Sangha. Venerable Tevatatta did not obey the order. He said that the Buddha was not his preceptor, so it was not necessary to pay respect to the Buddha. These respectful words diminished Venerable Tevatatta from jhana absorption. Finally, the Venerable Tevatatta was attracted by the people. When he died, because of his evil deeds to the Buddha, he appeared into hell. The Buddha came to visit the bhikkhus at the meeting hall of the Sangha. He spoke to the bhikkhus and said that Venerable Tevatatta was an ungrateful man, diminished from goodness not only in the present but also in the previous life. Then the Buddha told this Jataka to the bhikkhus. Once upon a time, when King Brahmadatta was reigning in Benares, a Bodhisattva was born in a Jantala or outclass family in Taxila city. The Bodhisattva had a mantra that was a particular knowledge of how to chant a magic spell for producing mangoes out of season. He earned his living by using this mantra. One day, the son of the king's advisor, who had studied from the liberal arts from the school of Tisapamokha, went to the outcast village. He heard the story of the Bodhisattva, so he went to meet him to learn the mantra for producing mangoes out of season. However, the Bodhisattva did not teach him this magic spell because he realized that this was not a good man. Later, after much effort, the son of the king's advisor lowered himself from the Brahmana clan to do service for the outclassed Bodhisattva and his wife. So the Bodhisattva accepted him and allowed him to learn the mantra. After he finished teaching the mantra, the Bodhisattva emphasized that a person who knew this mantra would succeed in their life with high power, rank, and wealth. However, the mantra knower must never insult the teacher who taught this magic spell. If the king or the king's advisor asked the teacher, the real story had to be told. If the mantra knowers told a lie, then this mantra would disappear. That man accepted the teacher's advice. Later, the man went back to the Benares city to test the magic spell. When he chanted the mantra, the mangoes were produced quickly. So the man acquired a large number of properties from this mantra. One day, The gardener who looked after the royal garden saw this man chanting the mantra for producing the mangoes. He brought these mangoes and offered him to the king Promatatta. When the king Promatatta ate the mangoes, he found that they tasted good. He asked this gardener about the mangoes. His gardener told the king the whole story, so the king ordered the man who could chant the magic spell to visit him in the royal palace. Then the king commanded him to stay in the palace from that time. One day later, the king Promatatta wished to see the magic spell for producing mangoes being chanted. The man went to the royal garden at the king's command. King Promatatta saw the man chanting the magic spell for producing mangoes from the beginning until it finished. The king gave the man many favors, so the king asked the man about the teacher who instructed him in such a mantra. The man was ashamed to tell the real story that he had learned from the outclass because he was a piece of disgrace. So he lied to the king. He told the king that he learned the magic spell from the school of Tissa Pramok at Taxila city. Immediately, the magic spell stopped working. The next day, King Promatatta wished to eat the mangoes again. He commanded the man to go to the royal garden as usual. The man began to chant the magic spell. The mantra did not work, so the man knew that his mantra had vanished. He stood When King Promatatta heard the answers, he blamed and punished that man, and expelled him from the royal palace. The man became poor and very sad. He decided to turn to the outclass village. He asked the Bodhisattva to teach him the magic spell again, but the Bodhisattva rejected him. The Bodhisattva said, "I gave you this magic spell with righteousness. If you had paid attention to my words, you would not